So in this video, we're going to talk about either the 5 most underrated films of 2019. So let's get started. Welcome to Color Positive Movies. My name is Joe. Underrated films of 2019. Let's get right into it. The first one out of the gate, this won't be in any particular order, but I'll save my favorite one to the last one, is from Netflix. It's from a streaming service. It's called The Perfection. This is a wicked little film. It's unsettling and creepy. It's about these 2 prodigy cello players that come from a rather prestigious school. And as the story progresses, you start to realize that this school is quite sinister in the way they prepare their students and what they expect of them. And I tell you, there's some pretty good twists in this film, and also the ending is quite unsettling. You'll remember the ending. If anything, you're going to remember the end. So I recommend Perfection.
Well, you know what happens now.
This next one comes from the Rambo franchise. Yes, I know it's probably the biggest action franchise going, or at least one of the biggest and iconic action franchises. But I wasn't expecting much from Last Blood. And I tell you, I was pleasantly surprised. A couple buddies wanted to go to the movies. They mentioned, hey, we're going to go see Rambo. I said, all right, because I don't think I would have seen it normally. And I tell you, this was a good one. Rambo is removed from the jungle. He's far from war. He's on a ranch. He's around people he cares about. But you could tell there's this brewing storm inside of him that he's still suppressing, that he knows it can be released if certain conditions arise. And of course, certain conditions arise. Very bad people do something very bad to someone very dear to him, and that unleashes him. And I tell you, it's what you expect from a Rambo movie. You do learn a little bit more about John and where he's at currently in life. But the last 25 minutes is just absolute mayhem. He kills like 1,000 people. Maybe not 1,000, but he kills a lot of people. He sets traps. He's ready for them. And the ending, the kill is quite brutal. This is a violent film. It kind of, if you remember the last Rambo, that was quite violent and graphic. This one carries that, but it's more of a build to the end type story. So yeah, Last Blood. I liked it. I liked it a lot more than I thought.
I want them to know that death is coming. And there's nothing they can do to stop it.
All right, the next 2 are in the horror genre. So we'll talk about Crawl first. This is an action horror. This was a lot better than it needed to be. It's about a young girl. There's a storm coming. There's a hurricane coming. It's going to hit Florida. She's talking to her sister, no one heard from dad, so she decides to ignore the warning. She's going to drive into the storm to make sure dad's okay. She gets there. Dad's kind of injured in a crawl space, so now not only is a race against time with rising water, you got alligators involved. It's an isolation film. They're trapped. Not only they're trapped in a house, they're trapped in the local surroundings because of water. They can't get out. It's quite intense. There's a lot of good chase scenes, like POV alligator scenes. There's a few jump scares, but this really builds. It's a very good relationship between the father and the daughter. It's surprising. They spent a lot of time developing that, and it works. You're rooting for them. I highly recommend Crawl. It's a fun movie. It was a surprise to me. Surprise hit of the summer action horror slash. I guess it's an action film more as a horror film, but there's some pretty good scenes. Go see Crawl. You'll enjoy it.
Banging on the pipes.
Where's their senses?
I can distract them for you. You got this!
Next up is called Haunt. This one just came and went, and I tell you, dare I say, this is one of maybe the best horror film of 2019. This is a good one. It's something we've seen before. It's a group of friends trying to find this extreme horror house or extreme haunted house, and of course, it's much more than that. This is really well done. It doesn't rely on jump scares. There are jump scares, but there is a menacing tension to this film that works. They do have to kind of, you got the whole technology thing where the cell phones have to be surrendered, and they kind of do it well here because they don't want people to go in and video and spoil the haunted house. So you kind of buy into that. but it's creepy. There's some brutal scenes in this too. It's well done. It's well written. There's some decent characters, especially the lead. She's really good. I tell you, don't sleep on Haunt. I saw it on demand. I don't think it was playing anywhere in the theaters near me. But this is one of the best films, or at least one of the best horror films of 2019. And I know we still got some to go. Doctor Sleep and there's a few others coming, but man, Haunt. If you want a good, solid horror flick that's done well, watch Haunt. You're going to enjoy it.
I just want to get out of here. We just want to leave.
All right, so the last film, not only is this on my top 5 underrated movies, this is going to be on my top 5 films of 2019. It's called The Peanut Butter Falcon. This is a tremendous movie. I kind of knew, after watching the trailer, I didn't hear much about it, but after watching the trailer, I kind of felt that I enjoy the movie, but I didn't think it had the impact it did on me. I really connected with this movie, and so I'm kind of championing this film and for people to go see it. It's just so well done. And if you don't connect as much as I did with it, I think at the minimal, at the worst, you're going to enjoy the film. You're going to like it and say, okay, this wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, but it's a good movie. I liked it. And if anything, see it to watch Zach Gottsagen. Man, what a performance. He's like the first 10 seconds of the film, he's in frame. And you can't help smile. I was hooked that quick. Oh man, what a film. It's a buddy film at the surface, an unlikely friendship and a bond, more like a travel type film. But there's so much more going on, how they deal with disability, how we perceive people with disabilities. It's one of the best well-written films of the year. The dialogue, there are 2 scenes that talk about Zach and his Down syndrome that are just phenomenal and maybe the best I've ever seen on film. The performances are really good. I'm hoping that maybe this gets some Golden Globe nominations, maybe some Oscar nominations, and then gets a re-release so more people see this. I highly recommend seeing The Peanut Butter Falcon. So if it's still out there, check it out. If not, as soon as it's on video demand, I promise you The Peanut Butter Falcon, this is a tremendous film. It's one of the best films I've seen in years. See it. I highly recommend it.
I think it's time for us to go back now.
We could be a family.
Friends are the family you choose.
Wrestlers got alter egos. You need a name.
Falcon! Peanut Butter Falcon!
All right, so that's the top 5, or at least my 5 most underrated films. I'll go through them real quick again. We got The Perfection. Then we get into Rambo Last Blood. Then we got a couple horrors, Crawl. We got Haunt, and then The Peanut Butter Falcon. They're the films. I think you'll enjoy them. If you're kind of hesitant about watching them or maybe didn't hear about them, I'd say check them out. And I'd like to know what your underrated films are this year. I love to discover films that I didn't know about or something that I kind of looked, I'm not that interested. But if people say, hey, you might want to take this a second look, list them below. Let's get a good list of movies that you think that, were really good for 2019 and kind of flew under the radar. So thanks for stopping by. I also did some full reviews on, I think I did a full review of Peanut Butter Falcon. I did a review on The Perfection, and I did one on Crawl. So if you want to check those out, there you can scroll down my earlier videos and watch the full review of those films. Thanks for stopping by. Hit that subscribe button. I'm just a movie fan who likes to talk about movies, so I'd love you to join us. And until next time, thanks for stopping by Color Positive Movies.
Perfect!